Happy Sunday to you guys. So if you've been watching or looked at my Facebook the last couple of weeks, y'all know that I've been battling a dead creature either under my house or something. Anyway, my son-in-law came over, he looked under the house, and there's no dead animal under my house. So it must be in my walls. It's been disgusting. So I'm finally getting back to normal smell, pretty much. Every once in a while I can get a whiff of it. But I started thinking about, how when you have something like that happen, have I ever had this happen? And what did I do? And blah, blah, blah. And so I started trying to think about if I've ever had this happen before. But I remembered a story about a live creature in my house. So I'm going to tell that today. This was in Hardy. We were redoing our house. We had gutted the kitchen, not all of it, but pretty much all of it. That house at Hardy was really, really old. And I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen this, but they had 2x4s going this way, of course, but then they planked the house out going this way. And so we got that room, the kitchen, all the way down to the stud. And I remember we had a few bottom cabinets still left in there, and the wall to the outside was completely gone because, of course, all the electric had to be redone, and then we had to put insulation in it and stuff. And it was at night time, and I went in there to do something. I can't remember what it was. And when I opened the bottom cabinet, I saw a rat in our house. And I'm not talking mouse size, I'm talking rat size, and that wasn't including the tail. I mean, it was huge. And I started screaming, and I ran in the living room and jumped up on the couch, and I'm just standing on the couch, just jumping up and down and screaming and going on. And Chris comes in there and says, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "There is a rat in the cabinet." He goes, he said, "It can't be that big." He said, "It's probably just a mouse." And I said, "No, it's a rat." And he goes in there, he opens the cabinet, and he comes running from the kitchen into the living room and jumps up on the couch with me. So we're both standing on that couch, jumping around, scared. And I said, "What are you going to do?" He said, "We got to get rid of that." He said, "That's a big old rat." I said, "I know." And I said, "That's liable to bite Heather." I said, "She's just a baby and she's in the crib. That rat could go in there and bite her." Of course, me just being a mom. And so he goes in, he jumps down off the couch, he goes in the bedroom, comes back out. And when he did, he had a pistol in his hand. And I said, "What are you going to do with that pistol?" He says, "I'm going to shoot that rat." And I'm going, "Oh, please don't shoot that rat. Please don't shoot it." Because all I was thinking, I wasn't thinking about the sake of the rat. I could care less. I was thinking about the mess it was going to cause all over the place if he shot that rat in that cabinet. And guess who would have had to clean up? That would have been me. So he goes in there to shoot that rat, and that rat's already, of course, scurried off, And I said, "Listen here." I said, "If you don't do something," I said, "Heather and I will go stay in a motel room." I said, "I don't care." I said, "But I don't want no rats in my house." Of course, the walls are open to the outside, and all they've put over the wall, of course, is plastic. He said, "Well, I'll have to take care of it tomorrow." And so the next day he goes to, number one, the hardware store to get a rat trap. And by this time, he's now calling our little friendly rat, not so friendly, whatever, Willard. Have you ever seen the movie that's got the rat named Willard in it? So he's calling this rat Willard. And he gets this rat trap set in this back dark cabinet. And that night, the second night, they put something makeshift over the outside of the house, so hopefully no critters are going to get in. And we go to bed, and then he gets up the next morning, and he comes in there, he goes, "Guess what I got?" He says, "I caught Willard last night in that trap." And he said, "Come in here and let me show you to him." And I said, "Show him to me?" "Yeah." And I said, "No." I said, "I don't want to see it." I said, "That's going to cause me nightmares for a long time." I said, "I do not want to see that rat." He said, "You should see how big this sucker is and how long his tail is." And I just kept going, "No, I don't want to see this." Because if you ever got something in your mind, and then like if it was an animal in the house, you'd constantly be looking out for that even though they weren't in there. So I said, no, I says, I am not coming in there to look at that rat. So, of course, they finally got it put back together, kitchen back together, and got a new kitchen and all of that kind of stuff. Now, I'm going to use this story to point to him. Now, we've had this virus, lingering, lurking, causing fear, just like that rat did. And, of course, now we're coming out of quarantine. A lot of people still have fear due to that. The Bible talks about in 1 Peter 5:8 how the devil is lurking about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. There's constantly things that we're tempted with. I don't know about y'all, but do y'all ever just get sad by hearing about all the divorces and hearing about all the people who are turning to drugs or alcohol and stuff, and how it wreaks havoc on their family? And it just makes you so sad. But what we have to be aware of, that devil is constantly seeking, right, to tempt people and stuff. And he's real. And I've seen evidence of the devil being real. But something else that I've seen real is God. How God actually turns people's lives completely around, does a 180, and turns their life around away from different types of things. And we have to remember that yes, there's evil there, but there's also the good. And so I want my children and my grandchildren to always remember that, be aware of Satan, but also remember that there's a higher power that can help you resist temptation and live closer to God, so that every day your life is pointing to Him. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week.